Are we good? We are good. We're not good. What a weird environment. Welcome, everyone. I'm Eric Neal. I'm the director of the Chrysler Museum of Art, and I am so pleased that we are able to hold the 8th annual Governor School for the Arts fashion show here at the Chrysler Museum of Art. Really, this is a collaboration, a partnership that has become one of the cornerstones of our activity here at the museum, and I can honestly say that this is regularly my favorite night of the year at the Chrysler Museum of Art. You're going to see some wonderful creativity, you're going to see some great young talent, and just some beautifully designed outfits that are inspired by art here at the Chrysler Museum of Art. I'm so happy that we were able, in these difficult times, to carry something forward. In fact, I'm going to set an example here. There's nobody near me, so I'm taking my mask off. I hope you can hear me a little better. But we've got some people upstairs that are ready to go. I've got a couple people I want to introduce, and I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to my education team here at the Chrysler who have worked so hard to make this happen. Thank you. I want to thank Art Bridges. Art Bridges is an organization that is in Arkansas, and it's associated with Crystal Bridges Museum. And they helped us bring the exhibition on Edward Steichen here, and they are funding tonight's event. That is helping pay for all the things that go into making this event happen, the audio-visual, the stage, and so on. So thank you, Art Bridges, for your generosity. We really, truly appreciate it here. And then I also want to say thank you to all our friends out there in the ether, people who have been supportive of the Chrysler in a very challenging time. We are open. I encourage you to go online and make a reservation. Come see one of our exhibitions. Come see our exhibition on Steichen or Americans in Spain or one of the other great installations we have here at the museum. I'm going to end it there and turn the microphone over to my distinguished colleague, Seth Feeman, who's going to tell you a little bit more about what's happening here at the museum. Thank you all, and thank you, judges.
Thank you, Eric. As he said, my name is Seth Feeman. I am the Deputy Director for Art and Interpretation and the Curator of Photography here at the Chrysler Museum. I want to thank you all for being here, those few of you who are with us in person and the many of you who are out there, to join us for the Governor's School of the Arts Wearable Art Show. Every year, high schoolers from across Hampton Roads create spectacular works of art based on a featured exhibition at the Chrysler. This year, we have the pleasure of featuring Edward Steichen and Exaltation of Flowers on loan from Art Bridges. And we thank the organization for supporting the programming related to this exhibition, including the program tonight. Edward Steichen was best known as a photographer, but he was also an incredibly skilled painter. From 1911 to 1914, he worked on a series of 7 10-foot-tall mural paintings for the New York home of his friends Agnes and Eugene Meyer. Composed in tempera and gold leaf, the shimmering murals feature elaborate symbolic portraits of the Meyers' friends, a close-knit circle of intellectuals and artists that got to know each other when they were living in France. Influenced by the writings of the symbolist writer Maurice Maeterlinck, the group nurtured a deep interest in the symbolic meanings of flowers, and in the mural cycle, people are depicted with flowers that express their personalities and their identities. In the Chrysler's installation, we've displayed the murals along with additional objects that illuminate the creativity of the artists, dancers, and collectors who were part of the Myers Circle. Together, these works shed light on a lesser-known aspect of the career of one of the 20th century's greatest photographers, while exploring the legacy of a vibrant creative social network and the deeper symbolic meanings hidden in nature. A tribute to friendship and artistic creativity, the murals couldn't be a better inspiration for the artists of GSA. Here to introduce this new generation of artists is Riley Wilson, a student at the Governor's School. Riley?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Riley Wilson, and I'm a fourth-year senior in the Visual Arts Department at the Governor's School for the Arts. I'm so excited to welcome you all to the Chrysler Museum and GSA's 7th Wearable Art Fashion Show, Beyond Bliss. This is our 7th fashion show, but our first ever virtual show, so thank you everyone for tuning in. We're making history tonight. We would also like to sincerely thank each and every one of you for supporting our visual arts students and their creative determination. All of the fashions you see here tonight were created by our students in the visual arts department. Some of them worked independently, and others were in our Fibers art class offered at GSA. Some of the pieces were modeled by our artists, while others were modeled by other GSA students in other departments such as visual, dance, theater, and film. We want to give a very special thank you to Macy, Allison, and Seth, who is our MC tonight, for working with us this year, as well as a big thanks to everyone at the Chrysler Museum. You all provide a space where art and art education is free and available to everyone. We cannot do this without you. I would also like to say thank you to all of the GSA administration, especially to our executive director and fearless leader, Dr. Andrea Warren, and to our assistant director, the tenacious Deborah Thorpe, as well as the GSA faculty, parents, families, students, and alumni. And thank you to the judges, Kim Wadsworth, Todd Rosenlieb, and our newest addition, Robert Roman. Seth will be introducing the judges a little bit more in detail later. This year, the fashion show was inspired by the Edward Steichen exhibition entitled The Exaltation of Flowers. Steichen created these beautifully painted murals that featured flowers as symbolism to describe these subjects, personalities, and character. The GSA visual artists who created work for the show were inspired by Steichen's exploration in portraiture and symbology, and created wearable art portraits of their heroes, friends, family members, and even themselves. We are challenged to use materials and objects that represented our subject's mood, personality, and inner reflections. Some used items from nature, such as feathers, plants, and fur. Others used found objects, such as wire and hardware. Each fashion you see here tonight is a wearable portrait of someone we wanted to acknowledge, honor, and artistically explore. So sit back and enjoy tonight's GSA Wearable Arts Fashion Show, Beyond Bliss. Thank you.
First down the runway, we have Aubrey Gonzalez presenting her design, A Quiescent Wanderer. The design is inspired by the character Susie Bishop from the Wes Anderson movie Moonrise Kingdom. The buttons are shown as beetles, which Susie wears as earrings in the movie. The text on the back refers to Susie's relationship with the protagonist, who she connects with as a pen pal. Next we have Ava Terry in her design entitled Hollywood's Homage to Tinky Winky. She references the Teletubby with a keychain on her lapel. The main focus of the piece is Carl Ramsey, an intellectual, fisherman, baseball player, cat lover, and ultimately artist, who is most famous for making the cover art for films like Risky Business, Beetlejuice, and Poltergeist. This is Elizabeth Augustine modeling their design, A Projection of Myself. To represent her own artistic personality, Elizabeth made holes in a sweatshirt and filled them with paint, conveying her belief that art fills the gaps and makes things whole. Her hope is that her art can bring a smile to everyone's face, and this design is no exception. This design is called Persephone's Garden, created by Sanaya Briggs and modeled here by Zara Macaulay. Sanaya took her inspiration directly from the Edward Steichen exhibition and incorporated flowing fabrics to represent flower petals. Spring has arrived today in Norfolk and on the runway tonight as Persephone's Garden comes into bloom. Libby Welch wraps herself in the love of her family with her design entitled Intertwined. She made the garment from upcycled clothes she took from her mom, dad, brother, and herself. Each part of the design represents parts of her family, and she's sewn them together to show how they are all connected to one another. Caroline Foresta represents herself and her birthday month with her design, April. Stars are meant to inspire, and buttercups refer to the season, while purple tones represent creativity and independence. Caroline created a self-portrait as a creative way to connect nature, fashion, and art, and reflect her personality. Lola Battenfeld presents the latest in evening wear by modeling her design Artemis, the Greek goddess of the moon. The blue and yellow fabric recall the night sky and the shining moon, and tinfoil deer horns represent the goddess's sacred animal and the thrill of the hunt. The beauty of the night takes form here in her garment. Gabby Garza models her design Colorful Me, made of felt flowers, buttons, and multiple fabrics. The work is an homage to the musician Elton John, and Gabby used bright and contrasting colors to represent his style and music, which is bright and colorful as well. Each color is meant to stand out on its own, but still be a cohesive whole in the same piece. Gabby Garza has created a second design as an homage to her friend Hannah Chow, who is both the inspiration and the model of tonight's garment. Called Fairy Tale Fantasy, the design uses paper butterflies to symbolize Hannah. Gabby says, "Butterflies are known to be sweet and beautiful creatures. This is how I would describe Hannah." Here we have a design by Isabella Sisi called The Intelligence of Flora and Fauna. It is modeled by Naomi Cardoza. Inspired by the Edward Steichen exhibition, Isabella was impressed by how the intelligence of flora and fauna did not have to be spoken or written in words, but could be shown visually to express their love through an entire ecosystem. Gabriella Cantu models her design Pieces, which is also inspired by the exhibition. Gabriella was especially impressed by the backgrounds in Steichen's mural paintings, which look somewhat like stained glass and shimmer with light, which she evokes here with tulle and colorful fabrics. She also noted the delicacy of the painted works and incorporated translucent fabric to convey that effect. Skylar Anchetta models her work Hydrangeas, which incorporates a range of materials like tulle, ribbon, vines, and hula hoops. Meant to represent both her mother and herself, each component is a symbol. The hula hoops and tulle show vulnerability and fun. Ribbons show keeping oneself together and keeping loved ones close. The vines show character growth and how far we've come. She says a lot of who she is because of her mother. She takes on the world with wide eyes and an open heart, which has drawn her to hydrangeas. Here we have Amirat Kadri, who models her design Fleur. The work is an homage to Nico Robin from the anime series One Piece, a character also known as Light of the Revolution, and famed for her smarts as an archaeologist. Here we've been inspired by the character's beauty and power, flow, and mobility. She has the power of regeneration, and we wanted to see how that would translate into something you can wear. Voila. Here, Abby Elliott models a design she created in collaboration with Faith Rivers called Butterfly Ball Gown. The design is an homage to friendship, specifically best friendship, and as they write together, we wanted to create something that can express our BFFs' quirky personalities. Butterflies are very beautiful, kind, and elegant, like us. This is Madison Bryant and her design, The Flower Garden. Presented during Women's History Month, the garment is an homage to the women in Steichen's mural series in particular. She uses flowers to symbolize femininity, while the colors are meant to reference Edward Steichen's monochromatic photography. She says, "This is just a fun piece inspired by the photos and murals." We're going to have breakfast at Tiffany's with this piece called Portrait of Hepburn, designed and modeled by Lauren Antonio. Whether you're making a funny face or going on a Roman holiday, nothing is more classic than this Hepburn look. Elijah Gent models his design Art Angel, which is inspired by the musician Grimes. Using inventive materials like chicken wire, plastic wrap, and electrical wire, the design mixes futuristic elements and a grunge aesthetic to suggest how Grimes might imagine herself. Gent writes, that angels in the future may not be made from feathers and skin, but from metal and artificial materials. I think Grimes would agree. These pieces are designed by Leela Graham, who models here with her friend Oliver Costello. The work is called Duality of Self and represents the two sides of Leela's own personality. The torn tulle represents the messier, more honest version of herself. Satin, on the other hand, represents her aspiration to cleanliness, purity, and put-togetherness. She says, self-identity is something I've always struggled with, the fact that I see myself one way while others see me another. When I'm completely honest with myself, I know I might be a mess, but I have aspirations to be something greater. Lucas Piet is electrifying in his Nikola Tesla-inspired design aptly titled Tesla. The altered suit has heavy addition with electrical parts and various mechanical components like copper wire. He creates a portrait of Tesla, who discovered Tesla coil and the alternating current, using electrical and mechanical components in order to turn a suit into a motherboard. And finally, we have a design by Riley Wilson, modeled by Avery Nazarella, called Who Are You? The sculptural garment was made to represent an ink blot or a Rorschach test as a portrait of everyone. The test is often used to see what's inside of yourself by making an abstract ink blot. The garment is meant to be interpreted by the viewer to think and ponder and see what kind of person you really are. Could we get another round of the models coming through? Thank you to our models and to the designers. Every year, this is really one of the most exciting events we have, and it's so inspiring to see the creativity of the young people from right here in Hampton Roads. Thank you out there again for attending our virtual version of the Governor School for the Arts Wearable Art Show. And thanks too to the Art Bridges Foundation for their general support in making this program possible. Before we end, I want to thank our judges, Robert Roman, Todd Rosenlieb, and Kim Wadsworth. Rob Roman is co-owner of Decorum Furniture. He's a local activist, philanthropist, and passionate lover of all the arts. Todd Rosenlieb is the chair of the dance department at the Governor School for the Arts. He is a local arts leader, community activist, and longtime fashionista. Kim Wadsworth is a makeup artist, fashion and etiquette journalist, and style influencer. She's the owner of Wadsworth Style and Bridesmaid, where her artistry has touched thousands of faces for over 20 years. The judges will make their selection of this year's winner on March 19th, so please check back on the Chrysler Museum Facebook page for the results. If you're able to come in, I encourage you to do so to see these magnificent designs up close and in person. We'll put them on display in the Margaret Shepard Ray Family Gallery at the Chrysler Museum from April 6th to May 6th. Edward Steichen in Exaltation of Flowers is on view until May 30th. Have a wonderful evening, and we hope to see you soon at the Chrysler.